those guys played most of this year in Abbotsford, and it seems like every game the game's slowing down for him a little bit more. I gave Jeremy Colleton some credit like a month ago. Like they've kind of like the system that they're doing is almost similar, and it's making it easier transitions. I mean, obviously it's a faster pace up here, but I found that there's certain plays that they've made under pressure. It's from the development down there, and there's times where there's pressure hits that they get some a little bit of habits being down there, but here I really like the fact that they've stuck together and really gave some good minutes for guys that come in a pinch. I thought they've done a terrific job for us.
Do you think your defensive play's actually been better with this makeshift blue line over the course of the past week than it was in your first 15 games?
Yeah, but I think, all fairness to the guys, the system has changed a little bit. There's more responsibility from our wingers and centermen. It's not always on the defense. And the big thing is, I felt like last game we kind of felt a little bit. When we make a mistake, we're not making the second and third mistakes. So we thought a couple weeks ago we did. Now we're starting to kind of hang in there. It's a game of mistakes. And if one guy makes a mistake, the other four guys can hang in there to help him out. And I think we're getting better as a team. That's what the good teams do.
19 games to go, 9 are against teams with losing records out of the playoff picture. Does that allow you to, once again, reinforce the structure that you want, play the style that you want, and maybe build up the confidence that, heading into next year?
Yeah, us coaches, we got a good staff here. Training camps, this is an extended training camp. Like like I told you guys before, we can't waste games or practices. We're trying to build something. There's going to be some games where playoff teams are jockeying for position or trying to get in. And I want to beat those teams, like every single one of them. That's kind of our, I hate to say it, it sucks not to be in the playoffs, but that's our playoff games. And I don't care who we play, Anaheim tonight, we can't, we're 27th? We can't take anybody lightly. So we got to play every game, whether they're non-playoff or not. It's a different game, every game. I think it's one step at a time. I know these are cliches, but you have to have that mentality going into next year.
Thatcher again tonight?
Yeah, Thatcher's playing tonight, yep.
In terms of how you use him down the stretch,
Yeah.
What are your short-term and long-term goals for Thatcher?
I don't want him playing 4 or 5 in a row. I mean, I don't make it sense. He's been terrific those 3 games. He's really solid. But I want to get him, where he's playing a good stretch of games. So I talked to Clarkey and our philosophy, but I don't want him playing like 5 in a row. I really don't.
Brock went on to PP1, looked from morning skate like Anthony Beauvillier is going back up. What are you thinking? What are you seeing out of your power play there?
Well, I haven't really liked lately. I need some retrieval, and guys will go to the net. I mean, power plays are funny, right? Everybody wants plays and plays and plays, but the really good power plays are about retrievals and coming up with, it's really a middle shot with somebody in front. That's a good play, and I think right now we're getting a little bit out of that. If you're that middle bumper, you got to come up with some loose pucks. So there's 3 or 4 guys are vying for that job. So we'll see. It could probably be a game-to-game decision with some of those guys.
We saw with expansion, right, that some guys who were playing on the fringes of an NHL roster, a bottom 6 role, bottom pair role, once they got a shot, turned out maybe there was more there than anyone had thought. Is that something you can look for with some of the defenders who are getting a chance late in the season after the deadline?
Well, it's a sustainability for me. It's an instant shot. Guys are playing well, but can they sustain it? You're going to, you get 3 and 4 nights. You're going into Dallas. The heat's on. Can you make those plays? That's what I look for. Is it sustainable? And that's why we have some guys in here now. You're looking, hey, can they sustain it? Not just for a week or 2. Can they sustain it? Whether it's we have injuries right now, so whether it's a luxury, but I get to see if those guys can sustain it right now.
I'm curious, your first, let's say 10 games, right? You were so frequently trailing that you didn't really get to see what you got to see in Dallas or what you got to see against the Leafs, where it's like a playoff caliber team trying to come back in a game. What have you seen from your group to this point, and do you need to see more minutes in those situations to know what you have in some guys?
With those guys?
Well, just in terms of, everyone defensively.
To me, the real good game I liked is the Boston game where we hung in there. I know it was 2-0. We hung in there. We made it 2-1. And we had a chance, in the last couple of minutes we had some chances. Allmark made great saves. They got the empty net, obviously the goalie with the goalie scores. But maybe in the past, we're losing 5-6, guys start going all in. So we start pinching. We lose that 3. Guys don't, because guys want to score, they forget about the other part of the game. I think this team's getting better at them, knowing, hey, it's okay. The good teams like Boston, I don't know how many times this year, they might be down 1-0, but you can never tell they're down. They just continue to stay with their system. And I call it getting antsy, and I think our players are getting better at that. Just don't get antsy. Just stay with the system. There's plenty of time to get back in the game.
Is that like tactical nous or just knowing how to win? Like how would
Well,
you...
it's knowing how to win and trust, and being a good teammate. Like, if it's okay some shifts to let the game come along. Maybe if you had a good, it's okay sometimes in your in your end and nothing really happened and you hand it off to the next line instead of you're all in, you make a bad change because you're trying to score, and then you hand your crap off to the other line. I think that's good teams don't do that to each other.
I had a chance to ask you
Yeah.
last game. I think there was about 8 minutes that Brock didn't play early in the second. Did you just lose him for a bit, or?
Well, there was a Kuzi and Brock. I sat for about 4 or 5 minutes. I didn't like they didn't like the way they were playing either. So I sat them for about, I think it was 4 minutes. I got them back out there though.
I was really happy. It's always exciting to sign a new contract with the same team, and I'm really grateful for that contract.
Does it feel like this contract was one that you've worked the hardest for?
Yeah, I've worked really hard, but the staff and all the coaching staff, my teammates, they've helped me a lot during that time. So I'm really grateful for everything the organization has done for me.
What's this journey been like for you? Because you've been called up over the years. We haven't seen you play, but now you're actually getting into the lineup night in and night out and playing minutes.
It's just I just stick to it. Just worked hard every day, and every time I get up was an opportunity to see the guys, see how they're playing, know the system a little bit better, and now I think it's going pretty well, and I just gotta keep going and work hard every day.
Rick has been very complimentary of your play and particularly your hockey IQ. What does it mean to you to hear that from the head coach of this team?
It means a lot. It means a lot, but at the same time, I got to focus on my game and try to help the team win. And every time I'm on the ice, I got to try to be the best version of myself. So, no, I'm really pleased with that. But at the same time, I have a lot to learn and keep going.
What's the learning process been like to play at this level and to play successfully, to earn that trust?
It's very different than down in the American League. I think it's way faster. The guys are really mature physically, and they're very, very good players. But learning in the American League was really good for me. Everyone has been really, really good along the years. I've had a couple coaches, and they've all been amazing to me, and they've helped me a lot with my development. So I'm really, really pleased with where I've been from.
There's been a lot of talk about the current coaching staff in Abbotsford and how well they're doing. What's your perspective on that, having played under some previous coaches in the past and playing under them this year?
I've always learned a lot from each coach. They all have their version of their system. They always have different approaches, and you got to take some of each. And they've been awesome from Trent in the American League and Utica and Abbotsford last year, and now Jeremy's been really good too. So I think they're doing a really good job in the coaching staff down there in the minors.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.